Keep that same energy. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Listen, I want to come down here and talk my shit. And talk my shit, okay? Now, usually, my schedule has changed recently, but not for a while now. And so usually, when y'all are probably getting ready to go to sleep, I'm probably just getting up, okay? So when I got up, I checked TMZ, and people were sending it to me as well. It said, Porsha Williams flying on FBI's radar, all smiles after flight incident. Okay? It says Porsha Williams is on the radar of federal authorities after allegedly being involved in an incident on the Delta flight. The incident apparently went down Sunday night on a flight from Las Vegas to Atlanta. In footage obtained by TMZ, Porsha is seen strutting out of the gate in a fur coat and Uggs, and from the looks of it, she doesn't seem fazed at all. The reality star is accompanied by an officer who she appears to speak to shortly after deplaning. A spokesperson for FBI tells TMZ FBI Atlanta is aware of an incident on a Delta flight on November 16th, allegedly involving Porsha Williams or at least one other person. We are looking to see whether any federal charges may or may not apply. A spokesperson for Delta Airlines tells TMZ 2 customers on the flight were spoken to by cabin crew, and the flight continued on to Atlanta and landed without issue. Law enforcement met with the flight upon arrival in ATL. What exactly happened on Porsha's flight remains unclear. Porsha spent the weekend in Las Vegas at BravoCon with her Real Housewives of Atlanta castmates, taking part in panels and posing for the cameras. We reached out to Porsha. So far, no word back. Okay? Now, do I believe that, because the rumor online is that Porsha got into a fight on the plane. Do I believe that Porsha was fighting on the plane? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We know that if Porsha was on that plane and Porsha had got into a fist fight on that plane, Porsha's ass would have been arrested. That is a black woman in America. That is not Meredith Marks. That is not Meredith Marks. If it was anywhere near a fight, Porsha would have been arrested. She would have been walking out of that plane in handcuffs. You going to jail? Now, what I think happened, y'all know how toxic Bravo fans can be. They try to live through them. They try to live through the Bravo, through other Bravo celebrities, okay? And somebody probably said something slick to Porsha on the flight, and they probably got to arguing, and it almost probably got to a fight, and they probably were separated. I can see a world where Porsha probably was in first class, and whoever else or whoever probably she was getting into it with was probably going to the back of the plane and probably said something slick to her. Or, girl, you know you was wrong for taking that woman's husband or something like that. Y'all know how y'all can get, right? And they probably had words, okay? But this just goes to show that there is a difference on how blacks are treated and non-blacks are. Because I believe, and I said in my review, I believe every word that them girls said about Meredith on that plane.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
But at the end of the day, Meredith is a white woman in America. So could she have acted a fool on that plane? Do I believe that she was throwing wine on the girl and grabbing the girl hair and pulling the seat? And I believe that she did all of that. I believe that she did all of that, and I believe that she got off that plane unfazed. But we haven't seen any footage of it. Now, there's rumors going online that she was suspended and filming had stopped for her for a little bit, and Bravo had to investigate what was going on. I definitely believe that it went down on that plane. I definitely believe that it went down on that plane. But Brittany probably didn't say anything. But, you know, I don't like that that TMZ is, that people are reaching out to TMZ and they're saying that something happened. I don't believe that it was a fight, though. I don't believe that it was a fight. And y'all know it was a fight because the rules, when it comes to us, they mean business. Okay? So, you know, we got that portion. You probably, girl, I don't know, girl. Then we got some news coming out of Beverly Hills. It says 2 Real Housewives of Beverly Hills crime victims, burglars spotted in Kathy Hilton's bedroom. It says the home of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stars Kathy Hilton and Sutton Stacke were both burglarized Saturday while they were at BravoCon, TMZ has learned. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ that around 2 p.m. Saturday, Sutton's dog walker called 911 and said the kitchen window was broken. Cops came and took a police report. We don't know if anything was taken. Okay? Now, Sutton, see, that's what you get. See, I seen some clips of Sutton at BravoCon this weekend talking about she didn't really need Ivy there anymore. It's so funny all of a sudden now that Ivy is gone and your house being broken into. Was it an inside job? You better check over there on Ivy, because she was saying, you know, I don't really need Ivy. I don't have any kids at home anymore. I don't need anybody to set up my doctor's appointments and things like that anymore. So there was no use for Ivy.
Are you sure?
But you needed a dog walker though, right? Then we got with Kathy, okay? It says the more alarming incident was on Saturday night. Rick Hilton called 911 and said that there were 3 burglars inside the family home. Cops came, but apparently the burglars had escaped. Again, we don't know if anything was taken. Both Kathy and Sutton were at BravoCon in Vegas, and a heavily publicized event. It's not hard to connect the dots, and the bad guys assumed the houses were easy targets. Kathy and Sutton didn't let a little crime get in their way. They both were at BravoCon Sunday. So Rick Hilton was at home Saturday night, and 3 burglars was inside the home. See, keep that same energy. Because when it was Dorit, right, even though we seen video of it, Dorit was lying and she was pulling insurance fraud claims. It was a storyline for Garcelle every season after that until she left the show. But we now see that burglars was in the house and Rick Hilton was in the home and he ended up calling 911. And the burglars escaped and they didn't take nothing. Or so we know, so far we don't know if they took anything or not. I don't think that we'll see footage of Kathy's home. I'm surprised that anybody was able to. I believe with Kathy, you know, Kathy probably just not living the way that we think she is. I think that we probably think that Kathy's living the life that she's living. We think that she's living the life that she's not really living because her last name is Hilton. But I would think that Kathy would have staff at her house, right? When I think of Kathy Hilton, I think of you got to go through, you know, a security gate before you even able to get on her property, right? You got to go through a security gate before you drive down the long road that's at Kathy's house. So the fact that people were in the home, burglars made it to the home while Rick was there is crazy to me. Because Rick could have been found out. Rick could have been found out. And that's why I don't believe in no big old houses like that. Somebody wait on the other end of the house and you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know what's going on. Let me see what they said, that Rick was in the bedroom. Let me see. We got an update. Sources with direct knowledge just tell us Rick Hilton was physically in the home at the time of the break-in, but we're told that he is okay and he wasn't harmed. But again, when that was Dorit, when she was okay and she wasn't harmed, it was a liar. Because when robbers come into the house, they're supposed to shoot, kill. Right? And Dorit was still living. But with Rick, that didn't happen. Rick was able to even call the police while the people were inside the home, and we don't look at that as suspicious either. Keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. Listen, it's a lot going on with Bravo and BravoCon. I don't know what these criminals are thinking. I would like to think that if I was a burglar, I will already think, y'all breaking into these, to me, it sounds like an inside job. I just can't see. No one will be able to convince me to try to go into Kathy Hilton house or try to go into Sutton Stacke house to try to rob the house unless it was an inside job or you knew something. I'm not walking into those houses. I'm not really walking into any house because you just never know who could be at home. Even if you know that Kathy and Sutton are going to be at BravoCon, you don't know who's at the home, right? But now people probably know how Sutton moves. Sutton don't really got staff in there, no, because I know that Ivy was her house manager, right? Her son is not at school anymore. So I can see people breaking into the house. Remember, on the Menendez stories, those two little brothers those two boys was robbing people that lived around them. They was breaking into their houses and stuff, stealing stuff that was around them. So maybe it was some people from the neighborhood that decided to go in there and set in house. But we haven't got an update. All we know was that the kitchen window was broken. But we don't know if anything was stolen out the house. Y'all, and to me, that just sounds so amateur too. Listen, if we're going to break into somebody's house, we're going to go through the window, bitch, we kicking down the door. We kicking down the door and walking in the bitch. Y'all breaking windows? I'm not about to cut up my arm trying to go through no window. And you get what I'm saying? If we going to be bad, if we going to go bad, if we going to do the crime, we going to do the crime. I'm kicking in doors. Boom! You feel me? But y'all, that's all I got right now. You know, I do not think that Porsha got into a fight on the plane, at least not physically. She probably had some words with somebody. I just can't see Porsha get into a fight on the plane. And then, you know, she was smiling and stuff after the video or whatever. Like, girl, I didn't know about Porsha was giving me, girl, ain't nobody do nothing to me. Let me just walk with these eyes and tell them what's going on. I'm not going to jail. That's what it gave me. She was smiling, blowing kisses or whatever. So I don't believe that she got into a fight on the plane. And, you know, my prayers goes out to Kathy and Sutton. But keep the same energy that y'all have for Dorit. Bad bitch can't even get robbed. Bad bitch get robbed. She's so bad, y'all don't even believe it is serious, baby, because she's so motherfucking beautiful. And shout out to Dorit with her cigarette. She won an award this weekend with her cigarette this weekend, y'all. Baby Garcelle could never with her running ass, crying ass, okay? But thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.